Why did Peter Beale leave EastEnders and what happened between he, Kathy and Ben? Peter Beale settles back into Walford in EastEnders this week, much to the delight of fans, who have longed for the character to stage a comeback. The former mainstay, as fans will know, made a surprise appearance in the BBC One soap back in June, with former star Thomas Law reprising the role for the first time since his departure since 2010. Peter was spotted in France, where he reunited with Dad Ian as part of Cindy Beale's big return story, which saw the character in question stage a comeback after 25 years. With her witness protection having come to an end, Cindy was keen to return to Walford with her family. Ian, however, was quick to dispel such an idea, knowing that her former lover George Knight and daughters Anna and Gina currently reside there. Peter, meanwhile, found out about Anna and Gina's existence earlier this week, stunned to realize that he has two sisters he never knew about. With Bobby Beale keen to get him back on the square following Kathy Beale's decision to sell the chippy, Peter decided to capitalize on his brother's request, making his way to Walford in a bid to get to know the sisters he never knew he had, arriving back home earlier this week. But while fans couldn't be happier at having Peter back where he belongs, there are some faces in the square who won't be pleased by his return given the circumstances in which he previously departed, namely Kathy and Ben Mitchell. Are you struggling to recall what happened? Fear not, we have got you covered with a little refresher below. Why did Peter leave EastEnders and what happened between he, Kathy and Ben? Peter, played by Dale Hudson at the time, departed Walford in July last year after a heated showdown with Nan Kathy and brother Bobby, disowning his family as he packed up his belongings and headed straight for the tube station. His reasons for departing were due to him having found out that Ben was the one who attacked him outside a nightclub several months earlier, with Kathy not only aware of what her son did, but having provided him with an alibi, meaning that Peter had no one to corroborate his version of events. Ben was seriously struggling at the time, after he was raped by Lewis Butler, and he resorted to attacking homophobes. Peter, who was wearing similar attire to that of a homophobe from earlier in the day, was brutally attacked by Ben in a case of mistaken identity. Kathy soon uncovered the truth and vowed to keep it a secret. Peter, however, soon found out what Ben had done and, despite his feelings on the matter, he agreed to keep quiet, that is, until Ben spilled the beans about him having sex with Dana Monroe to a devastated Bobby. With nothing left to lose, Peter ultimately reconsidered, shopping his uncle to the cops. Kathy, appalled by what Peter had done, pleaded with grandson to retract his statement to the police, but despite her best efforts, he refused to do so. Kathy therefore took action, providing Ben with a false alibi, which ultimately led to his release. Peter was left crushed by Kathy's betrayal, with vengeful Ben branding him a grass, before forcing his own nephew's head down the sink, holding him underwater for a few moments. Devastated by the way his family had treated him, Peter decided that he would leave Walford, much to the dismay of Kathy, who begged him to stay put to no avail. Having had access to the finances as manager at Walford East at the time, Peter cleaned out Kathy's account, leaving her in quite the pickle, which has led to her having to sell the chippy. Peter certainly has some making up to do, that's for sure, and he sets out to do just that, though Ben isn't showing any signs of forgiveness, as he confronts his nephew over his crimes in upcoming scenes.